Hi, and thank you for joining me on this NeuroPilates class. My name's Heva, and I'm going to be taking you through the class today. In NeuroPilates, we theme each class towards a different part of the brain, and today's theme is the Corpus Callosum. The Corpus Callosum is the bridge that connects the right and left hemispheres of your brain, and it's made up of white matter, which is the coating or the axons of the nerves. These usually deteriorate as we age. They become a little bit weaker, the connections between the two hemispheres. So we're going to wake up that part of the brain today by doing a lot of opposite arm, opposite leg motions and doing some crawling, loaded crawling pattern work as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So take a moment to lengthen tall. Just think about your posture. Think about growing through the crown of the head, sending your feet down into the floor, and just take a moment to notice if you feel different right side to left side. Do you feel more connected to the floor on one side compared to the other or not? And keeping that length now, we're just going to touch opposite hand, opposite knee, and then we come down and we switch. So try and grow through the crown of the head as you do these kind of dynamic movements. And I know this seems super simple, but you'll be surprised that many people with neurological conditions, or even just as we get older, we lose our ability to coordinate opposite arm, opposite leg movements. So today's class, we're doing a lot of contralateral movements with load to challenge you a little bit. Now, see if you can do this by tapping your foot. Same thing, but instead of tapping your knee, tap your foot. This way we're warming up the hips, getting some external rotation. You can even add some trunk rotation, actually. And every time you push one foot down, think of pushing the ground to lengthen up in the opposite direction. Now we can do opposite elbow, opposite, but try not to do like this, like in the crisscross. Try and do it crisscross but upright. So think about bringing your elbow towards your knee, but keep the length. And rotation through the spine. And then take your arms out to the side and kick opposite hand, opposite leg. Take the leg a little to the diagonal. And try not to slouch. I know I am a little because my hamstrings are tight, but see if you can keep the length as best you can to reach towards, hand towards opposite foot. Then go behind the body, hand towards opposite foot at the back. So it looks like this. Again, you'll be surprised how many people struggle with this one. Now, very simple. We're going to go forward we're going to walk across our mat. We're going to go forward, opposite hand, opposite knee. And then we go backward, opposite hand, opposite feet from the back. Forward. And then backward. Stand at the back, spin around 3 times in one direction. Spinning has tremendous benefits for so many different parts of the brain. Take a moment until you stop the dizziness, until you feel a bit more settled. Take the arms out, spin in the opposite direction 3 times. Come back to center, lower the arms, take a moment. We're going to roll down to the mat now. So we're going to roll down to all fours. And when we're in all fours, I want you to pretend that you've got a tray of drinks on your back that you don't want to spill. And you're going to do very small basic crawls, steps, synchronizing opposite hand, opposite knee as you move. Really thinking about putting your weight into the 2 hand and knee before you pick up the other side. And then you walk backwards. Again, if you take big steps, you're definitely going to spill the drinks on your back. Make sure you take baby steps here. And we're going to try this again at the end of the class, but with our knees lifted. For now, Let's just do it one more time with the knees down. And then we walk backwards, pressing down into the hand and supporting knee. And relax. Sit back, swing your legs round to the front, sit bone walk to the front of your mat. This is always a good move to do, just to mobilize the lower back and pelvis. Take the legs actually into a small V, and let's just loosen up our spine a bit. So let the feet roll to the side. Let your left bottom lift as you twist to the right. Let the right bottom lift as you twist to the left. And don't feel like you need to stay vertical, like it's okay to lean forward. Let's go one more time on each side. You may even hear a little crack in your spine, which feels good. And then come back to center, and let's do roll down to the mat. So sit on your jeans back pockets and roll down. Okay, so let's lie down with our feet hip distance apart, and your spine is neutral, lengthened. All we're going to do is put our hands on our hip bones here, and imagine we've got a cup of tea on each side. And you don't want to spill that tea. As you open your right knee out, keeping the opposite side heavy, and then pull the leg back in, and then do the other side, keeping this side heavy. So make sure nothing is moving apart from the gesture leg. We go one on each side. Now, if you want to challenge yourself, you're going to take the arms up, and as you open the right knee out to the side, you're going to open the left arm out to the side, and then come back home. Home is where the arms are pointing up and the knees are pointing up. And then we do the opposite side. Left knee with right arm. At the same time, making sure you're connected to your center and you're not spilling the drinks that are on your hip bones. Then come back. And again, we open. And come back center. Let's go one more time on each side. And then keeping your arms up, go ahead and lift one leg up to tabletop and then the other. Take an imprint if you need to. As you stretch your left leg away now, reach your right arm back on the exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, reach your right leg away, left arm back. And inhale, come back center. Exhale, reach the two limbs away from each other, keeping strong in your center. Inhale, return, moving nice and slow. Breathe out. As you move your limbs away from each other, feel heavy through the center, as if your organs just got heavier and they're sinking towards the ground. Let's go one more time on each side. And then squeeze your legs together. Curl up with the head and shoulders, straighten your legs, and just do a little bit of 100 here so we honor the classical Pilates class, always starting with the 100. This was the Pilates warm-up, or is the Pilates warm-up in most classes. The arms should be pumping fast, the legs reaching long or bent if you like. Head and shoulders can be down, but we're breathing in for 5 counts and out for 5 counts. And you want to contrast the fast arms with the slow breath. And you don't have to breathe out through the mouth. Sometimes it's just nice to make some sounds. It gives you that kind of rhythm, which calms the nervous system down. And relax, bend the knees, grab the back of your thighs, roll up to a small V, and we're going to go kind of combination of roll up and saw. So let's start with the arms out to the side. We're going to twist, legs are just outside the mat, by the way, and lengthen up nice and tall out of this discomfort. Twist to the left, and then think about kind of reaching towards your pinky toe, and your back arm rolls inward, and then roll back up again, center. Twist to the right, reach towards your pinky toe, rolling down over the leg. Feel this two-way reach from the arms, and then roll up. And then come back to center, squeezing your legs together. We do a roll up, we roll all the way down, and then we roll all the way up. And as we come up, we're going to open the legs and go directly into our saw. Roll down, squeezing your legs together. This will feel very flowy if your core is taking all the load and your legs feel light and airy and glidey, you know? If you kind of allow them to feel light and just go to their positions, then you'll feel like it flows. And each time you should feel like you're getting a little bit more range. If you're struggling to roll up, remember to put a pillow behind you. If you're struggling through this part, you don't want to use momentum. One more on each side. Flex your foot as you reach. Last one. And we're on our back, straight for one leg stretch. Pull your left knee towards you as you reach your right leg away. Head and shoulders can be down here if you like. Energize that bottom leg so it reaches long, and then just switch and switch. You can do it with a deep knee hug if you like, or if you prefer 90-degree tabletop, hands behind the head, that's also an option. Head and shoulders can be down. I like this pull with the leg because you can really feel what's going on with your hips. For me, with the left hip, since I've given birth, it's just not quite rotating inward as much as I'd like to. So I'm trying with my hands to kind of bring it into a more centered position. Take your hands behind the head, straight into crisscross. Now, if you want a modification for this, or if this feels like it's a bit too much, just go opposite elbow, opposite knee, and then rest. And we go to the opposite side like this. So either copy me and do the modified version, or if you're feeling energetic, go straight to the full version of crisscross, remembering to keep your elbows wide open and reaching opposite elbow towards opposite knee, and reach. Reach with the arm now. And let's turn it into scissors. You can do 2 pulses. Pull with your leg so you lift your head and shoulders higher as you pull your leg, and then try to do crisscross with scissors. So again, just working on that cross patterning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Well done. Stretch your legs, stretch your arms, and then go ahead and roll up to sitting. Let's do rolling like a ball. Now we're moving in reverse to the classical order here, but we're going to do rolling back to a cross pattern again with rotation, and that will get our spine twist covered as well. So sit just back off your sit bones, lift your legs, hands back on the ankles, the front of the ankles, elbows to the side. Roll back first the traditional way 4 times, moving from your center, eyes towards the pubic bone. Everything feels connected. Keep the shape through the spine, and then when you're ready, we roll back, stretch the leg, twist to one side, and flex that foot. So as my right arm reaches back, my left leg reaches in the opposite direction. And then we roll back, and we go again. Left foot reaches as right arm goes, and then right foot reaches one way, left goes the other. Turn your head to look at the back arm, so you get some trunk rotation. For those of you who are super fit, maybe you're feeling energetic to come up to a pistol. I can't do that, but you know what I mean. Those of you who do pistols, go ahead and do those if you like. One more on each side. And let's go ahead and lay on our side. So for here, we're also going to be on the elbow, and we're going to lift the waist. Try not to sink We're going to energize our top leg long and reach our top arm away. And as our leg goes back, the arm is going to reach forward and turn towards this floor. You should feel a lovely stretch here. Feel the two-way reach between the left fingertips and the left toes, or the top side, and then bring the leg forward and rotate towards the ceiling. So it's just a version of side kick that we're doing today. Reach and then return. Of course, you could do the bottom leg in the classical position, but bending the leg just makes it a bit more comfortable on most of our hips. Keep the lift here so you're not sinking. We go reach. On the exhale, inhale, turn to the ceiling. Or reverse the breath if it feels more natural to exhale here because you're twisting. Inhale here. That could also feel nice. 2 more. And you can add the flex and point if you want. Just to give that a little bit of a burn, go ahead and circle. 1, feel free to come down at this point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How fast can you move the circle where you're not spilling the cup of tea that's here? 10, change direction. 1, 2, keep the lift through the bottom waist. 4, 5, as if there's freezing water running here and you don't want to touch it. 7, 8, move the leg behind your body if you can. 9, 10, and relax. Well done. Go ahead and come up to open the legs. And we're going to lift the arms, side bend over to one side, and reach forward for a stretch all the way to the other side, and lift. You can flex the feet or point. I don't know why I'm pointing them. You can reach. I think it feels better. Flex, actually. Imagine you're holding a ball, and you're reaching the ball forward and up, and then you go side bend forward and up. Let's go into maybe a little bit of leg pull back here. Reach to the back wall as you lift your hips, and then come forward, and again reach. Narrow your stance if you need to, and then come forward, 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 and reach, and again forward, and reach. And then if you go straight to your usual kind of pancake stretch, you should actually feel like you've got a little bit more range than you did the first time you tested it, after moving in this kind of spiraled way. So now let's go ahead and lay on the other side and energize this top leg. Reach the arm long. As you take your leg back, rotate towards the floor, and then take the leg forward and open up towards the ceiling. And again, you can point your toes as you go back, and then flex your toes as you go forward. And here you can inhale if you want, exhale here, or do a reverse breath if that feels better for you. But feel the connections from the fingertips to the toes. 1 more on each side. Go ahead and lay on your side fully now, lifting through the bottom waist. Start to circle, circle. Putting the accent in the back portion of the circle. Keeping the bottom side active against the floor. That's about 10. Change direction. Just keep the breath flowy here. And relax. Well done. We're going to lay on our stomachs now. So have your arms just outside the mat. Have your legs hip distance apart. You're going to slide across the mat, shortening your right waist as you try to look at your right foot. And then you come back to center and turn the opposite way. And allow your elbow to lift on the opposite side. This is a lovely mobilization for our mid-spine, our thoracic spine. And as I go to the right, try to see my left foot. And as I go to the left, I try to see my right foot. So I'm stretching the corner of my eye and challenging my peripheral or my lateral eye muscles. And then come back to center. Take the arms out in front of you for swimming. Reach your right fingertips long and your left leg energized long behind you. And then just take a moment to feel the connection between the right fingertips and left toes. And relax. Now take a moment to feel the connection between the left fingertips and right toes. You don't have to lift high, just long. And relax. Now take both arms and legs long and start swimming. Start slow, actually. 1, 2. Opposite arm, opposite leg. 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Then go as fast as you can, seeing if you're able to coordinate. The minute you start rocking around so much, notice you're probably doing same arm, same leg. So for it to be stable, it needs to be opposite. Hold and relax. Push back to a child's pose, rest. We're going to do a little bit of loaded quadrupeds now. So let's start with the crawling that we did in the beginning of the class. But now we're going to have our knees off, hovering just above the mat. So ground your hands, ground your toes, hover your knees, and feel if you're able to even move from here. This may be enough. You may just hold it as an isometric until I walk forward and walk back. You're staying here. Because to move with this, with the stable drinks on your back, is quite advanced. So let's have a go. I mean, everyone can do it, but to do it well, I mean, is quite advanced. So you come up hovering the knees, really a hover, and then you take baby steps, really pushing your supporting side into the ground first before you lift the other 2 limbs up. And then you switch backwards. Baby steps, big hands, nice big jazz hands spread out on the mat. Push, push. Take a mini rest, and we'll go again. If you're holding the isometric here, just keep holding as we do one more lap. Ready? We hover the knees above the ground, and we're going to go. And backwards. And rest. Now go to the middle of the mat. We'll do a rolly one. I always like to finish with a big one that involves some sort of rolling. And if you've done animal flow, you know this one, which is an under switch. So you're going to lift to this quadruped position. Your left foot is going to go under the right, to a crab position they call it, to this. And then your right foot is going to go under the left, not under the left, but threading through the left to come back to your quadruped. So left goes under, then right goes under. Then left goes under, then right goes under. The challenge is, can you land your hand and foot at exactly the same time? You're going to be rolling around. Can we change direction now? You will feel a bit dizzy. That's okay. Go opposite way. Land your foot at exactly the same time. The leg is never going over. It's going under. It's going under, and it's planting right next to the other one. All it's doing is planting right next to the other one. And the hand and the foot, if they arrive at the same time, then it makes it easier for you to get the movement. And relax. And then you could, if you have energy in your wrists and hands and you're not feeling very dizzy, you could try a little crab walk. Again, opposite hand, opposite foot. Hands pointing sideways. Bottom stays low for this. Let's come back to the middle. And then just turn your right arm back and just open up the front of the body with a reach. And come back down. Reach. And come back down. Reach. And when you come back down, don't rest your bottom, just hover it and reach. Back down. Thread through. Back to your under switch. crouch back, we're going to come up to standing. So we stretch and roll all the way up. So we're standing here. We're just going to finish with a little bit of balance with the contralateral movement. And you could do this actually in one-leg circles if you're doing your traditional Pilates mat. We're going to do like one-leg circle standing. So press down into the left leg, stretch your right leg forward, put your hands here and just start to do a small circle with your right leg. And then with the left arm, if you can, go in the opposite direction. And change direction. So this obviously you could do on your back as well, doing your regular one-leg circle. That would actually challenge your stability of the pelvis a lot. And change legs now. Press down to the right, stretch your left leg long, and then start to circle. Don't forget to go across the midline of the body. When you feel ready, add the opposite arm. The arm can be a big movement even. The leg could be a bigger movement if you want, if you have the flexibility. And then change direction. The challenge is, can you keep these headlights pointing forward the whole time? The headlights are your hip bones. And relax. We'll finish with a fun little challenge. We're going to go 2 taps on the thighs, bending the leg, and then you've got to grab hold of your nose at your opposite ear. With the nose with the closed arm, the other arm that goes to the ear goes on top. Then you go 2 taps and you switch. So it seems really simple, but the first time you do this, it's quite confusing because your brain programs doing it on one way, and then trying to do it the other way just muddles up. So again, this challenges your coordination as well. One more on each side. Keep doing it, keep working on it. If you're struggling, until you get it. You're not allowed to stop until you get it. Well, we can stop though. So we're going to finish with an eye exercise that targets this part of the brain. But before we do, I would love it if you could give me a thumbs up, just so the algorithm can help me out. And if you feel, obviously subscribe, but if you feel like anybody would benefit from this type of brain training integrated with movement, particularly someone elder, I would really appreciate it if you could share this video with them. It will be to their benefit. So let's go ahead and finish. Take your finger out in front of you. This is the most important part of the class, by the way. It's the most effective. Bring your finger slowly towards your nose until your finger becomes blurry or splits into 2. And what you're doing is exercising your medial eye muscles. This is coming from your brainstem. Your brainstem controls these eye muscles, and that can help with the cross patterning of the 2 side hemispheres in general and the midline parts of the brain in general. Bring your finger towards your nose. It can also help activate all your flexor tone muscles, your core if you have a weak core, because your brain thinks you're going into flexion and it's priming these muscles. And we'll do one more. Stare at it for 3 seconds this time, just working on those medial eye muscles, those inner eye muscles, which can also help your focus and concentration. And then slowly relax, and now go the complete opposite and widen your peripheral vision and feel like you're very aware of the ceiling, the floor, the walls, and everything around you. Thank you very much for taking part in the class. I would strongly recommend that you work through the different brain parts each week. So click on the next video to work on a different part of the brain, and then just keep